Dirt Trax is sponsored by Can-Am. We're built for this. Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation. And by Yamaha, conquer outdoors.
Accessorizing your side-by-side is just plain old fun. I mean, making it more than what it was off the showroom floor? Sure, it was great then, but can you imagine the possibilities of what it could be? Today, with the help of some unique-to-the-market Can-Am accessories, I want to show you what some of those possibilities can look like and just how well that they function. First things first, it's important to note that Can-Am accessories are built at the same time that the vehicle is designed. So there's a couple of things right away you know that are going to make both your buying process as well as your installation much easier. And first on that list is fitment. Because the Can-Am engineers and accessory team work hand in hand, these products fit. Not well, but exceptionally well, like they came, well, from the factory, which is one of the unique features to the Can-Am branded accessories. Factory fitment, no stress install, and Can-Am online instruction downloads that ensures that even if you lose your directions, you can download a new set and get the product on right. Now secondly, and equally as important as fitment, is the quality. And there are a boatload of offshore manufacturers of accessories who just kind of throw stuff together and it doesn't stand up to the abuse that off-roaders deliver. Can-Am parts, yeah, they're built to handle the abuse you throw at them. They're well thought out, and they tend to be overbuilt so that you can give them a beating and keep on riding hard. Can-Am oversees the quality of their branded accessories, and should you encounter any issue or order the wrong part, you don't need to go through shipping them back halfway across the world. You just stop in at your local dealer and they'll get it figured out. In this day and age, I feel like that's a huge benefit. Now you'll notice that we're not equipping a Maverick X3 Turbo with 195 horsepower. We do love the X3, but the truth is the Maverick Trail and the Maverick Sport are way more in line with the average off-road rider, and it's something that we see way more of out on the trails. Our 1000 Maverick Trail is totally stock bumper to bumper, and right up front I want to add a product that doesn't look very different, but is incredibly beneficial to those of you with a Maverick Trail. The Sport half door was designed for the Maverick Sport, and it gives you significantly more shoulder and elbow room inside of the cockpit due to the arch door design. While this doesn't visually seem very different, it makes a world of difference to the driver and passenger for all-day riding comfort. It allows more space to relax and also more airflow to keep things cool and temperature lower around your body. One of the good things about doing the Maverick Sport door upgrade is that you can take your stock Maverick Trail doors and sell it to somebody who bought the base version Maverick Trail that didn't come with doors. So that means at the end of the day, it makes your upgrade way cheaper, and on the inside, you get the same interior as a Maverick Sport with all that elbow room. And the second area that I want to focus on is staying out of the elements. Biggest concern here is the sun, followed closely by keeping the dust and water out of the cabin as well. With a helmet on, you're like a little egg just cooking in the sun. And while I will touch on installing a roof in a minute, a rear sunscreen like this Can-Am branded full mesh design will keep the sun from beating down on your neck and cooking it. When you link this sunscreen with a roof and a windshield, it'll also reduce the backdraft created by the negative pressure zone inside the cabin and reduce the draw of dust inside when riding. And speaking of windshields, I've got something next that's not just super cool in design, it's also really techy and highly functional. And that product is the first windshield that I've seen for a sports side-by-side like the Maverick Trail that uses electric motors to allow for an infinite level of adjustability and airflow. The Power Flip is a fully motorized design that's made of ultra-durable hard-coat polycarbonate. It's a full windshield, so it seals out everything using a rubber gasket, and also features a tinted top section, almost like a sunroof, but forward of the front roll bar section. This tinted area allows for full visibility of those tough-to-see uphill climbs, but it cuts down on the glare from the sun. The motors are dash switch operated and will allow you to go from fully sealed and closed to fully open for big-time visibility and maximum airflow, and then pretty much anywhere in between that you'd like to be. This windshield works with the Can-Am roofs and is not just a great idea for the summertime, but exceptionally versatile in the winter as well.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Princess Auto, a unique world of equipment, tools, and more. Closed captioning of Dirt Trax is sponsored by MBRP Power Sports, race-inspired performance.
While your aftermarket roofs may or may not work with the Power Flip, the Can-Am roofs were designed in conjunction with the Power Flip, so you know that you're covered for fitment. And I know I keep on speaking to the fitment, but it's because over the years I've put on so many accessories that either don't fit right, or have to be altered or adjusted, or they just don't play well with other accessories when trying to combine them in a build. This sport roof fits up perfectly with both the rear sunscreen net as well as the Power Flip. It's not as rugged as aluminum or as fancy as fiberglass you see on some roofs, but the polypropylene injection molded design is light, doesn't rattle or echo like aluminum, and will take way more abuse than a fiberglass roof that cracks and chips. The design looks nice, has stylish angular cues, and also offers rooftop lighting mount options for future upgrades. Plus, it's way cheaper than an aluminum or fiberglass roof. We knew that we wanted to put a cooler in the back of the Maverick Trail, but most times a cooler is going to take up almost all of your available storage space, and Can-Am engineers knew that no one would want to take up all of their storage space with just a cooler because usually you got other gear. So they came up with a pretty unique solution. The Link Pivoting Rack. It allows you to mount your cooler up high and features really cool gas struts to hold the rack up and out of the way when you need to access your gear on the bottom. And because it's link ready, you can attach all kinds of cool Can-Am accessories to the upper rack if a cooler isn't in your repertoire of gear. For those looking to log big miles and carry a spare tire, there's a custom tie down for holding your spare in place, and it comes with the rack. While the spare is good, I think the upper rack gives you a world of possibilities for taking along so much more than just the box space provides. It looks clean, is seamless, and doesn't stick out too far or intrude on the stylish design of the Maverick Trail. Now back to the cooler. It's an obvious accessory that people love to have to keep drinks cold on hot days. But you can dual purpose your cooler in the spring and fall months by keeping your gear out of the mud and rain. The Link 8-gallon cooler will hold a whopping 30 liters of gear, and it's not just a one-trick pony. No, Can-Am went over and above and realized that while cold drinks are great, you always take food along too. So there's a removable integrated compartment to keep your snacks out of the ice and water. Obviously from the name, the cooler locks in with the super simple Link locking system and means that you can get your cooler on and off in quite literally seconds. The cooler comes in white and black, but we like the matching black for this Maverick Trail. There's a built-in drain plug for easy clean out, and it's roto-molded so that it's durable and tough, ready for the abuse trail riding delivers. And when it comes to how long your stuff is going to stay cold and frozen, well, it's foam insulated so it'll stay icy for a long time. And with it up and out of the way, you have easy access to drinks, snacks, and all your gear stowed below. Accessories are a way for you to customize your rig and make it your own, but a lot of times I feel like you get a bunch of bling for a whole lot of jing with not very much functionality. But today I've showed you that you can customize your rig with parts that are guaranteed to fit, increase functionality, and don't break the bank. All with a quick trip to your Can-Am dealer for both ordering and install should you need it.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Shock Strap. Start strapped, stay strapped.
I think it's safe to say when we bring our brand new side-by-side home from the dealership, the first thing on our minds is not belt life. However, not too long into your riding experience, you should be thinking about where all of that power that you've just bought goes and how it gets transferred to the ground. Ultimax is a specialty belt brand. Belts is their business, and that's all that they do. From ATVs to side-by-sides and snowmobiles, you can be certain that they build a belt for your high-performance toy and ensure OEM quality and beyond. And by that I mean even Ultimax's entry-level HQ belts, offered in 28 part numbers for almost all of the most popular ATV and side-by-side applications, are application-specific and built with strong aramid cords and specialty fiber-loaded rubber compounds for excellent grip on your clutch sheaths. This entry HQ belt is built with the same performance and life expectancy as the OEM stock belt and comes with a 1-year warranty at a significantly reduced price when compared to the stock belt. Need something a bit beefier? UA belts are specifically designed for your application and come from a rich history of demanding snowmobile belt designs where 150 horsepower applications are the norm. Specialty formulated to exceed your factory belt capabilities in both performance and reliability, the UA belt is built for more abuse and is not just less expensive than a stock replacement, it also comes with a 2-year warranty and is made in the USA. Now for today, I really want to focus in on the highest level of performance that Ultimax offers, and that's with their XP line of drive belts. I mean, this truly is where the rubber hits the road. Both high horsepower utility and performance side-by-sides demand a lot out of the belt. I mean, it truly is the link between the engine and the power getting to the ground, and Ultimax has an answer for those demanding the best performance, the best reliability, and the best warranty as well. XP belts are severe duty, and they're built for the biggest and the baddest side-by-sides on the market today. And that's why we use them on all of our fleet here at Dirt Trax. So besides the incredible 3-year warranty and the claim that they're built to handle more load and abuse than any other belt in the industry, what truly sets the XP apart? Well, right up front, one of the huge factors is the application-specific design and fitment assurance. Ultimax inspects every belt 100% to ensure that they're dimensionally flawless and held to the strictest standards in the industry. Now, it's no surprise that heat is a belt's worst enemy, and over the years, manufacturers have tried very hard to keep heat out of the clutches. but one quick slip and your OEM belt could be toast in no time. Slipping a belt by either not using low range or being in an extreme situation where slippage occurs can be the end of your stock belt. The heat that builds from slipping a vent may many times mean catastrophic failure in the very near future. But Ultimax belts are constructed with special advanced polymer compounds and highly stable and strong aramid cording that not only increases shock load resistance, but also provides significant belt life even after a high heat slipping or belt burn event. Now, a lot of these claims are significant, but Ultimax backs up these claims with not just a little bit, but severe abuse testing. And it's not just of their belts, but of the OEM belt that they're going to be replacing. Sure, a very limited number of manufacturers may offer a small warranty on their belts, but Ultimax stands behind theirs with a 1, 2, or 3-year warranty, depending on the belt that you choose. And even the highest level of performance and reliability, the XP, still comes in at or below OEM cost of a replacement belt, meaning that you get 3 years of worry-free warranty, better reliability, better performance, and possibly most importantly, the peace of mind knowing that you're using a product built to the strictest quality standards in the belt industry. Now, in the snowmobiling world, carrying a spare belt is completely the norm, but when it comes to ATVs and side-by-sides, the people that we encounter out on the trails haven't put too much thought into it. While you don't need to go out right away and buy 2 brand new belts for your ATV or side-by-side, we do recommend regular inspection and replacement of your OEM belts. And for us, we replace the stock belt right away with an Ultimax. Then we keep the OEM belts as a spare in the vehicle. While we haven't needed to use one as our history with Ultimax belts has been flawless, it's always a good idea to ride with a spare, especially with today's high horsepower utility and performance side-by-sides. Today's side-by-sides are big, hard-working, powerful, and fun. And to make sure that that fun continues rolling down the trail relies heavily on the belt that your engine's spinning. So make sure it's a superior product backed by a dedicated brand.
Dirt Trax is sponsored by Argo. Go anywhere.
We've tested a lot of XMRs over the years, but up until this point, we'd never got a chance to get our muddy little hands on an X3 XMR turbo. So you can understand my excitement when one showed up in our driveway all shiny and clean, just waiting to get coated in thick piles of swamp chocolate.
Nothing is waterproof.
First up, the X3 XMR that we have here is the turbo version, but not the Turbo R version. This means that it has the same Rotax 3-cylinder 900cc Ace power plant as the Turbo R version, but this one only makes 120 horsepower. It's not a huge secret that this detune is mostly just an ECU flash, which leaves most people asking, why even do it? And the answer really just relates to dollars and cents. There needs to be a reason to charge more for the Turbo R. Right or wrong, this actually does make some sense. The other notable difference between the R and non-R version is the width of the suspension. The Turbo R X3 is 72 inches wide and has 20+ inches of suspension travel. Awesome if you have unlimited space, but if you're like a huge portion of X3 buyers, your riding mostly consists of regular width trails on which the Turbo R does not fit very well. The non-R version of the X3, like the one we have here, is 64 inches wide, and it has 18 inches of front and rear suspension travel. Its rear shocks are also piggybacks, but not remote reservoirs like on the bigger X3. They are all Fox QS3s though, which is awesome, and the adjusters couldn't be easier to reach. All this adds up to a vehicle that fits much better on a normal width trail without a significant sacrifice in travel or stability. Overall, the XMR Turbo is a much more realistic vehicle for the vast majority of Maverick X3 buyers, and it's definitely the one I'd choose for where I ride. But enough about that. What you're all here to find out is pretty simple. How good is this XMR where it counts? So let's take some time to find out exactly that. The XMR package includes a whole bunch of features designed specifically for riding in the mud or in deep water. The first one you can see here is the snorkel kit, which is mounted above and behind the driver's head. This means the driver will actually drown before the vehicle does. It also includes a gnarly set of 30-inch ITP Kryptide tires mounted on aluminum non-beadlock wheels. The package is rounded out with recovery hooks front and rear, and 4,500-pound winch with synthetic line skid plates, and the piece de resistance Can-Am Smart Lock front diff with custom-tuned trail and mud settings. This is a serious package right out of the gate, and its serious nature is carried directly into how it handles the gnarliest mud holes. I found the best way to run the X3 XMR Turbo when things get really deep and sticky is in low range with the Smart Lock diff set to mud mode and DPS set to max. In this setup, I literally could not find a mud hole that could stop me. These 30-inch Kryptide tires aren't as serious as some, but they do work when it counts. And anytime you might find them lacking in traction, a heavy dose of wheel speed seems to solve the problem entirely. The trade-off here is definitely in the trail handling and ride quality departments. While nowhere near as bad as a truly dedicated mud-only tire, the Kryptides are pretty harsh on small stuff and give a loose handling feel on hard-packed trails when speeds get higher. If you're buying an XMR though, these are trade-offs you're likely very happy to make. The lack of bead locks is admittedly a bummer, but we didn't have any trouble with popping beads, so in my opinion, it's definitely not a deal breaker. Can-Am's legendary tri-mode DPS system is basically a necessity on a vehicle like the X3 XMR, and when set to high, it completely eliminated any harsh feedback into the steering wheel. Even with the wheels spinning hard and pounding off mystery rocks in the real deep holes, the steering wheel never fluttered even a bit. Because this XMR is so capable in its intended environment, I didn't ever actually have to use the winch, not even once. But I'm sure in time it would become necessary, and if nothing else, it gave me the confidence to attempt the most intimidating quagmires, knowing that, worst case, I could just winch myself out. The snorkels are a different story though. I did have an opportunity to test those. In fact, I took this vehicle in the deepest water I have ever intentionally took any motorized vehicle in my life. It was up to my shoulders, and it didn't skip a beat. It was one of the coolest things I've ever done with a side-by-side, and one of the things that impressed me the most about this XMR package. Simply put, the snorkels work. Clearly, I'm impressed with this vehicle. It has exceeded all of my expectations, but it's not perfect. There are a few gripes I've come up with after spending numerous days in the driver's seat. My first gripe is something that is part of what makes the X3 so awesome, but is also a pretty big drawback when things get more technical: the low seating position. I love the kart-style seating in the X3. It's darn near perfect when things get super fast, but when you need to be precise about wheel placement and actually see your line so you don't get stuck or hung up on rocks or in a mud hole, the kart-style seating becomes quite a liability. You're so low you can't really see anything 12 to 15 feet in front of you. You do get used to this, and as I said, this is an integral part of what makes the X3 so good. I don't know if there is a way to work around it, but it definitely wouldn't stop me from buying an X3 XMR. My final gripe is a small one, especially when you consider the intended purpose of this vehicle, but it is something to consider nonetheless. The Kryptide tires are incredibly stiff, as I mentioned earlier, but even set to full soft, the shocks don't do much to help the resulting harsh ride. In my opinion, the softest setting on the QS3s should be 25% softer, so you're not rattling your fillings out getting to and from your favorite mud hole. So there you go. Those are my only gripes about the X3 XMR Turbo, and none of them would make me think twice about buying one, not even for a second. After a few weeks of real-world testing, the X3 XMR Turbo has more than lived up to the legacy set by other XMR models. It's seriously capable, has been seriously durable for us, and offers real-world value for anyone who likes to play in the mud. I do have one final suggestion for Can-Am though. They should run a promotion where you get a free power washer when you buy an X3 XMR Turbo, because believe me, you're gonna need it.
Dirt Trax Television has been sponsored by Polaris, the world leader in off-road innovation, and by Can-Am. We're built for this.
Thanks for watching Dirt Trax TV. I sincerely hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you click the like button and leave us a comment if you have any suggestions for future videos. Also, turn the bell on so you can be notified of our future updates. Most importantly, in my opinion, is make sure you get out and ride.